Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Lionel, class of 2009, back with another episode of PV versus everybody. And listen, it is another episode, another Sunday of the recap show. Another Sunday of the recap show. And again, if you're not following us on all platforms, PV underscore versus underscore everybody, make sure you're following us on all platforms. Also, again, if you have not done so already, go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Again, right, we just surpassed our goal of 1,000 subscribers. So, man, y'all give it up for yourself, for supporting the channel, for showing love. And so now it's on to the next step. Again, we just keep setting goals and keep accomplishing them. And so that's what we seek to do. Again, listen, I already tell y'all, I love to keep Coach Northern out my nonsense and out my mess. So before I bring him and my special guest up, I'm just going to say it real quick. It's a lot of praise right now out here for some bad defenses. That's all I got to say. It's a lot of praise out here for some horrible defenses. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say. All right, that's all I'm going to say. Coach Northern ain't got nothing to do with that, y'all, okay? That's all me. Put it on me, okay? All right, a lot of praise. I heard a lot of celebration about some bad defensive play yesterday because I told you I ain't but one defense in this conference, all right? But don't put that on Coach Northern. That's online, all right? But listen, with that said, all right, y'all already know what we got to do, man. Got to show some love to the home team, all right? You know the home team. It starts with PV alumni Jeff McKissick. He's a Texas licensed loan officer with Fairway Independent Mortgage Company, and he'll help guide you seamlessly through your home buying process. See, many of us are unaware of our credit score, our true financial standing, but Jeff will help you develop a step-by-step plan to make your dream of owning a home achievable sooner than you think. See, many of us are unaware of our, the credit issues, the student loan debt, but don't let fear of achieving new heights hold you back from getting the home of your dreams, perfect for your growing family, for hosting those PV watch parties. So get started now on taking the first steps towards your new home and the next big step in your life. Don't delay. Talk with Jeff today so you can be in your home tomorrow. And listen, after Jeff gets you right, after he finds exactly how you're going to get that money to find a property of your dreams, you got to contact your boy because, listen, I believe that just as God has a special place, he got a mansion for you in heaven, right? He went and he's building right now a mansion specifically for you in heaven. Just as sure as that is true, man, I know that he has a special place for you on this earth to reside. And so I'm just partnering with him to prepare a place for you. So after Jeff gets your loan right, you know what I'm saying, we're going to find your property. And then we got to hit up our boy. We got to hit up that alumni, Neil Harris, because when you're thinking big about your home purchase and want a thorough assessment of your biggest investment, you owe it to yourself to contact Big. That's Blueprint Improvement Group. Big provides home inspections in the greater Houston area and is owned and operated by proud People mechanical engineer Neil Harris. He has experienced inspectors who use advanced tools and techniques to assess every aspect of your property from the roof to the foundation. So visit thinkbig.com or text 713-259-0673 to book your home inspection. Support the team that supports the team, all right? Support the team that supports the team. When we talking about supporting the team that supports the team, all right, man, you already know. Listen, but today I got some special guests on the channel, man. We got some special guests on the channel. You know what I'm saying? That we got joining us this evening. And listen, when we talk about PV Nation and those who have gone forth and accomplishing great things, talking about productive people, we had to bring some productive people to y'all. You know what I'm saying, on this evening. So, Coach Heish, talk about who we got on tonight on the recap show, man. Just give a little brief introduction to these two young gentlemen.
Hey, man, I'm gonna talk about some guys that I inherited when I walked through the door at Prairie View. So I'm gonna start with Marquise first. Marquise, when I got there, was actually playing tight end, and I had some success with Jason Hatcher at Grambling. He came there as a tight end. I say, man, he might not be as big as Jason was, but because he wasn't playing a lot of tight end, let's come on this side and let's see if he can go chase that joker with the ball instead of trying to catch it. And then Pat was over there already on the defensive side of the ball, helped us a lot on special teams and defense, and was always a coach. You know, he would ask the questions that nobody else in the meeting room would ask, but it made sense. And then he was like the guy that asked the question that somebody else wanted to ask. And then when he asked it, they were like, man, I see what you're talking about now. So, and he was one of the guys, and he just got the award last week. I shouted him out for the recruiting award. And when he was at North Shore, and I let him tell him a little bit about that, I told him, like, man, if you want to get on the college level, become the recruiting coordinator, because they meet all the college coaches that come in and out the door. So I'm glad he took that and ran with it. And next thing you know, I see him on the news and on the internet posting pictures. So I'm going to let them guys talk about themselves, and then we got some questions for PV Nation.
Yeah, man. Can you, Coach Pat, you know what I'm saying, Marquise, can you guys just introduce yourself, you know what I'm saying, remind people with PV Nation, right, who you are, you know, when you go to school, what you graduate with, and also what you're doing now.
You go first. Go ahead, Marquise.
No problem. I'm Marquise Johnson. Appreciate Coach and Lionel with his introductions. But I played at Prairie from 2004 to 2008. I got a degree in human performance with a minor in history, and I'm currently an assistant strength coach with the Minnesota Vikings. I'm doing that a little while now. This is my 7th year in the NFL. I spent 2 years with the San Francisco 49ers and 5 currently with the Minnesota Vikings. But I've had the pleasure of coaching all levels, high school, college, and obviously pro right now.
Yeah, I'm Patrick Robertson. I'm the assistant head coach and defensive coordinator for Sea King High School in Houston, Texas. Previously, I was at North Shore High School in Houston, Texas for a few years. And I also coached at Crosby High School. I was fortunate to win 4 state championships at North Shore. So I became a recruiting coordinator. And like Coach Northern said, I met a lot of people, learned a lot of stuff about just the high school and college level and how things worked, and was able to help a lot of kids along the way.
Now that's what I mean. If y'all wondering, yeah, that Sea King that y'all saw the other day against Summer Creek, yeah, that Sea King. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead,
Hey,
Coach.
let me ask you guys. So you guys sort of came in the midst of between the streak and not quite the championship years. Did you guys, or was it certain things that you saw that you can see the turnaround coming?
Definitely. I definitely felt like you can see the turnaround coming with the quality of players that was getting brought in by Coach Frazier and yourself and the staff, and then just the level of coaching, the expectation, especially with Coach Northern, man, with you from a defensive standpoint, the sense of pride that you put into every player with doing their job, and then also the pride in Prairie View. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell this story now, but I'll go ahead and spark this one off. I think that Northern, you set a standard, because obviously Prairie View is a small school. It's not the Texas A&Ms of the world, but I thought one of the neatest things you did was not let us wear any other college's gear. Yeah. I thought that was neat as hell. I was like, that makes a lot of sense. So you took pride in us wearing our own stuff and wearing that PV logo.
Yeah, I think just the turnaround, we had coaches that cared for us on and off the field, you know what I mean? And Coach Northern made sure, like, we were sitting in front of the class. You know, we got stories about where if you had muscle T-shirts on, you had to get up at 5 a.m. So, you know what I mean? So we took whole ownership of what we had, and we took pride in the school, and it carried on from life to the field to everything, and it started to spark a different change. And then you started seeing the people. We not the guys that didn't want to do it and stuff like that. You know, like they say, we start cutting the fat and things start happening.
And let me ask you, just off of that, what was your perception of PV as you was being recruited, right? Or as you was making the decision and determination to say, hey, I'm gonna attend Prairie View, right, to play ball there, right? Because there was kind of this narrative, right, obviously around what had happened in the past. And even talking with a lot of kids and students now, right, a lot of them, I talk to them, they say, man, I don't even be knowing people be talking about when they talk about this thing that happened so long ago, right? And so right. I want to, know from you guys' perspective, because you were right in that transition period. What was that like for you? Because I was at school at the same time as you guys, and even though I grew up in the SWAC, I really didn't even think about that aspect of things, right? I only saw what you guys were building.
Right. I felt like first when I got recruited there, I felt like I had an opportunity to make a change. And also too, you had the opportunity to get on the field and stuff like that. So taking that chance and also changing the culture. I was a big advocate of making sure the culture get changed and making sure we do things the right way and stuff like that. So, once the culture got changed and we started getting guys in there, like Marquise said, that had a winning tradition, like when Coach Northern there, I remember kids coming from schools that ain't lose a game, whether it was from Louisiana, whether it was from California, wherever. So, we just didn't know how to lose. So, that took a stride in a long way.
Yeah, I kind of like piggyback off what Pat said. For me, it was an opportunity. I definitely heard about the streak everywhere I went. You know what I mean? Coming from where I come from, I played at Upper High School, and Pat played at North Shore. Two of the biggest, most competitive areas in the state of Texas. Definitely in the city of Houston, and where we had rivals between us and North Shore. Even like now, obviously Upper High School, that area has grown so much where they have more than one high school by the time I was there. But you bring in quality guys, you bring in winners for winning program, it's gonna carry off to those kind of people. And I heard about the streak a lot. Everybody said, man, why you going to Prairie View? Why you going to They have won a game. You kept hearing about the streak. And like Pat said, it was the same thing for me. Just opportunity to bring change. Well, I think I could be a part of change. And I didn't mind it. And we definitely got that accomplished. And it was good to see those guys win the championship. It's good to see the program where it's at today. And it's good to see where the program is going.
Hey, now both of you guys have been on the high school level, and Pat currently is. Is there, or do you see the perception amongst the high school coaches changing? Because I can remember going to certain schools, and all they wanted to talk about was the past. And I know, Marquise, you may have a little bit a different story because of some of the schools that you were at. But in terms of the perception of what they may say under their breath, or some things you may have heard about SWAC schools or Prairie View in particular that happened in your staff meetings or something like that?
Oh yeah, the perception definitely taking a swing, especially with having the TV time and the stuff like that for kids to be seen. I think they look at it just like the Power Fives and the P4s. You know what I mean? So if a kid got an opportunity to go out there and play, I tell a kid like, hey, you want to go out there and have an opportunity because you're gonna get the same opportunity there as anywhere else. So you want to make sure you're advocating for yourself and doing what's right for you and for the school.
Yeah, when I was in high school, it was definitely a horrible negative perception. But I hated, unfortunately, it was a lot of people that looked like us that was talking bad about about black colleges, Prairie View, Texas Southern, any other the amazing schools that's in the SWAC. And it's unfortunate. However, it's a beautiful thing. I got a chance to work for Prime at Jackson State, and to see Prime put the shine light on all the good things about black colleges, about the kids having the opportunity to play, the atmosphere, the environment of the games are better than a lot of P4 conferences. That's just the point blank period. You get a kid on campus at Prairie View, it's hard for them to leave. And then that's just some of the things that we're doing with the Prairie View A&M Alumni Association, that we just want to make it better for the kids and the parents and alumni when they come down there, and just keep fostering those relationships where we can just turn the corner on saying what's Prairie View, this and that, the negative stigmatisms that go on with it. And I think now with what Coach is doing down there now, and then the facilities upkeep, then the content they putting out on social media is definitely changing.
No, that's definitely huge. I mean, you talk about Coach Pat specifically just about the time. I mean, is that something that when you're talking to kids, right, coming from a background where you have done so much recruiting, right, what I'm saying, in terms of touching kids and kind of having a chance to kind of help them to navigate those decisions, obviously now we live in such an age where you got streaming, right? You really got the ability to where people can watch you on TV every game, even if you're at a D2 school, right? You know what I mean? And so obviously with the transfer portal and all these things, what is that conversation like with kids to help them to understand that it's not a knock on them if they are looking at a different program that's not an Texas A&M or a UT, right? Like, hey, there's other programs out there that you can get to working with a guy like Marquise in a couple years, even if you went in that different route.
Yeah, we talk to kids a lot about the NIL and the transfer portal and stuff like that. I mean, it's crazy now. You can have great high school kids that don't get a chance to go P5 or something like that just because a lot of colleges are now in the high school. I mean, in the transfer portal, all they want to, they board got a percentage of high school kids they could get. So you got to make sure that those kids have an opportunity and understand that to where we can get a kid that's a great high school kid and give them a look somewhere to where he can be able to play and have an opportunity to play and let them know, and some parents don't know, but I tell them, it's okay for your kid to go play somewhere and get some video and then do whatever you got to do. But, making sure he get an opportunity. A lot of kids didn't understand that at first, but, you start to get it as it go on.
I got you.
Hey, do you guys have, I'll say, a Prairie View memory, or I know Marquise, we talk a little bit about the only in the SWAC type of story. Do you guys have one of those that you could share, a couple of them sort of quickly?
Man, how much time we got? Oh, man.
Hey, my favorite one, and I told it before, was the baby being brought to the meeting room at 6 o'clock.
That was classic. I jump on that one. That was one of many stories in it, but that's what made us appreciate Coach. So what happened was one of our teammates, I'm gonna say this rated G. Yeah, so one of our teammates, the female that he had a baby for or whatnot, she brought the baby to the meeting. It was like 7 a.m. It's nobody in the baby on in the meeting. It was quiet. Coach Northern doing his thing, running the film or whatnot. We hear a knock at the door. Doom, doom, doom. We're like, hold on, what's that? Man, it was the female. And obviously he knew who it was. He got up. He grabbed that baby. I believe Adam might have been in there. I can't remember. Northern son at the time. He grabbed that baby. He sat back down, and the film didn't stop. And it was like, I tell that story to guys I work with now, and they like, what? Like, I was like, hey, that's only in the SWAC. I've never seen that at no other level of football, but that was definitely hilarious. But that's one of many stories. But I'll let Pat go because I can tell.
You talking about some, I just got a few quotes I still use from him, like, what we doing out here, Coach? Y'all gonna get me fired out here. Yeah, so, you know what I mean? He say some stuff like that to the kids, and it's just, it's just good memories of him, and he helped me along the way. I remember when I first got in coaching, I went to his house, and, we just got on a notebook pad, and he showed me a lot of stuff, and, I just respect him a lot and appreciate him for what he did for me.
Right, because I feel like working at the levels I've been is more like a business, and I get that part as well. But I felt like our coaches at Prairie View didn't disrespect us. They helped us grow as men. They helped us grow as like you say, like Coach Norton didn't have to go to invite Pat over there to have a little talk or whatever to help him with a problem that he's seeing in coaching or whatnot. It's more, sometimes I seen things as more transactional. At Prairie View was more personal. They cared about it, like you say, on and off the field, even till this day. I keep in contact with. Happy birthday to Coach Brandon, for example. Today the man's birthday. He was out the line coach. He was a good man to me, like in coaching. Hey, give me some drills. I'm about to go on an interview, Coach. I need some help, man. What can I give me something? Okay, yeah, Keith. Hey, go take these indie drills in there, draw these up, do this, whatever. That goes a long way.
Hey, before we depart with you guys, I'm gonna direct this. Marquise, can you tell us some of the things that you guys are doing with the Prairie View Football Alumni Association, and maybe even some things that you have done personally? I know a lot of times we don't want to toot our own horn, but I'll give you this chance to talk about what you guys do as well as toot your own horn a little bit.
Oh, no problem. Well, the Prairie View Alumni Association is led by Brandon Bell. I think he's doing an amazing job, and I just kind of put my 2 cents on it or whatnot by forwarding, giving away smoothies to the players, food to the coaches, created like a video reel, sent them out there when they fed the team this year before the season started. I've been fortunate enough in these situations I'm in. We had some equipment left over with the Minnesota Vikings. I sent that down to Prairie View, so to help their weight room out, and some of the nutrition things. I have some different connects with hydration people and different food sources, and just trying to help the program as best as I can, and just leave it better than it was for me. I just see certain things that happen at the levels I've been at and levels in like different colleges that we didn't have in Prairie View, and I want to do those at Prairie View. And just I want to talk about Prairie View the way guys talk about their colleges, whether it's A&M, UT, whatever it may be. That's the pride that I have for Prairie View, and it also helps when Prairie View show on TV and we look good, the stadium look good, and the guys obviously win.
All right. No. I just want to say thank you guys for jumping on. You know, we tried to bring some people in. Like say, I shouted out Pat last week and Marquise. You know, you always been in our corner. Look, and the other thing, Marquise, real quick, I know you used to ride the bikes downtown and shuttle people to their cars. So look, not too long ago, my daughter, we go to the Astros game and we park a little bit further away than normal. And my daughter's like, hey, Dad, why don't you call that guy that played for you to come give us a ride? So that's another one. So, but I just want to tell you guys thank you, man, and much continued success.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Hey, that is hilarious, man. Appreciate both of you guys jumping on. Obviously, you guys. Hey, listen, if you guys can get out to a Key game, all right, they got some more big ones on the way. You know what I mean? So, you want to check out Coach in person? You able to do that? Obviously, this year that's still time, right? And again, Keith, appreciate all the things you and Bell are obviously doing with the PV Football Alumni Association. Some great work, man. And again, anytime you guys just want to jump on, hey, listen. This platform is for you, right? You know what I mean? Because it is for PV Nation, man. So we appreciate you guys.
I just wanted to say, you know, I know there's a lot of coaches out there that graduated from PV in Texas. So if y'all need anything, y'all get with any one of us, reach out to them, and I'm able to help as much as I can of in the educational field or anything. Just reach out to me. I just help out as much as I can. So I appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. If you guys can obviously email us at pvversuseverybody@gmail.com. I can get you in contact with Coach or Coach Northern, et cetera, right? If you guys need to do that. But that said, man, we got another special guest that's coming on now that we're going to be bringing on. And I know you guys have probably heard of him. And first, I got to bring up co-host Kerry Mickens. You know what I'm saying? How you doing, sir?
Doing good. I used the bye week to fix some bruises and ice bath. But I still, just in case Coach Jackson watching, I did my dog training.
Okay, good. Listen, because we need to make sure you do your training because, like I keep saying out here in these swag streets, people mad at me, but see, they mad at me because I'm saying what they see as the obvious. We out here praising these bad defenses, but I'm not gonna say that because Coach Northern right here. I don't want.
Yeah, don't bring Coach Northern.
I don't want him in the middle of my. They gonna clip this, and Coach Northern gonna be right in the middle and be like, "Man, I heard Coach Northern said that the defenses was bad." So I don't want him. I don't want him in my nonsense. So let me say that for later. But I got to bring up a special guest. You know what I mean? Because when we talk about, we talked about Marquise access, right? You know, that connection with Minnesota Vikings, and him being able to, really be a part of, helping to do some great things, obviously, for the football program because of, guess what, right? It's just proximity, connection. All of us can do it in different ways. But I'm happy that Mr. Mickens also has some special connection, Coach Northern. He got some special connections, too. And, it's good when you connected. You know what I'm saying? Not to just anybody regular, you know what I'm saying? Not to somebody who's, a parliamentarian. You're like, no. We got
Sergeant at home
around here. We got connect the presidents around here. So I just want to say, we got a special guest. See, they ain't know I was going to pull it out. See, we be having access to some stuff around here, okay? All right? We got access to stuff at PV versus everybody. And so we got to bring up El Presidente himself of the NAA, none other than Mr. Roosevelt.
Oh, y'all are funny.
Rosie.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited to be with my friend of, it may be over 30 years now, Kerry Mickens.
Yep.
A good story about Kerry. When I was a young engineer, I moved to Kansas City, and Kerry said, "Hey, come hang out with me." And he treated me well and showed me the life of Kansas City. So when we were there as like 20-year-olds, so he might have been 28. But I was. He's a little older, but he helped me to the game. So I'm always appreciative of Kerry Mickens for sure.
Oh man, hey, listen, that's what's up. Appreciate it's always great to have good friendships, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Connections. And so obviously you guys have that. And so just wanted to show, you know what I mean? It's good, you know. I always say it's good to know people. I know people in high places who know people in high places who know people in low places. And I'm the person in the low place, okay? You know what I'm saying? And so it's good now that I know Kerry who knows somebody in a high place. So I feel connected now. That's all I'm trying to say. I feel connected now. But listen, we're bringing you on because man, we definitely want to have some just a couple questions for you. And I know
sure.
Coach, you can start us off because obviously you're the newly minted El Presidente, right? You know what I'm saying? Talk a little bit. Can you just share a little bit about that, right? What led you? What was the desire, right, to say, hey man, I think that I can do something for Prairie View, for the alumni in this role, in this position, right? What kind of led to even the desire to say, man, I want to take this post on and take on that responsibility?
For sure. Prairie View has, had a tremendous impact on my life, right? And I wasn't going to go to Prairie View. I thought I was going to Southern, Coach Northern. As you know, all my family, every part of my family is from Baton Rouge. If there's any listen out from Zachary, the Huggins are out there and they're deep, right? And so I had no thought of going to Prairie View. But when I did go to Prairie View, man, it changed my life. Found my wife here, have 2 daughters going to Prairie View. It's just my lifelong close friends. You see Kerry, but Kerry is one of probably 100 friends that I have that we're really close to. So, when this opportunity came up to serve, I had been treasurer before and of the Alumni Association. I've stepped back for a while, and the time was right to get involved. We need to go in a different direction than what had been going before. We need to get closer to the university because, it's challenging times right now. There's a lot of different types of attacks on HBCUs, and we have a phenomenal president. If we as alumni get behind her, as we as alumni get behind the football team, we can do anything. We could be anything that we want to be. We could have 10 championships in a row. We could have the number 1 HBCU in the nation. So that's kind of my dream, is to get this Alumni Association closer. I have a phenomenal team, Vice President Erica Wright, some others that we're really ready to kind of take this forward. And we have some good things coming up real soon.
Awesome.
Mr. Huggins, I'm gonna speak from the coach's side or more the athletic side. Do you have, or you guys have, any initiatives that are more directed towards football or athletics in general? I know football is going to get the bulk of the attention, but do you guys have anything in particular from the National Alumni side directed towards athletics more so than anything?
Right. So as you know, I just, started the role in like August, Labor Day. So we don't have a real formal initiative yet, but what we're doing though, since we're going to, Southern here this week, we decided to brand and link up with the football alumni and the 1876 Foundation to have a official tailgate, bring our own Wakanda to Southern Jaguar land. And when I tell you we're bringing Wakanda, we're going to be in the middle of Jaguar land. So I've been working with Brandon Bell, you, Coach Northern, others from the football alumni, Joyce Johnson from the 1876 Foundation. So we got it all lined up. We got a nice tent, nice area. We're going to have food from Tony's and the Blue Store. I've never heard of the Blue Store, but I hear it's pretty good. So we're going to have some. We talking about doing a half hour Friday night at Uncle Earl. So we're going to have our own little Baton Rouge takeover, pre-homecoming, get ready, and hopefully we get out there with a win, as Coach Tremaine Jackson always says. So that's the key initiative right now, is really to stay visible, help attract our alums and our fans to the games right now, because we need butts and seats, right? And if we do that, then that's going to turn into money. That's going to help the program. I think as we get going here stronger, we'll have some more initiatives with VP80 golf and the rest of the athletic department.
Yeah, and
So
just to
what-
get the information.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Oh, you put it up. I was
Okay.
just getting ready to ask that.
Yeah,
The cutoff date is on Monday, so people have time to get their spot. We're taking all Panthers. If you want to be a Jaguar and join the Panther Nation for a day, you can join the tailgate too.
I just
I saw Coach
double
Northern.
money. Send double your money though if you coming from Jaguar Nation.
Yeah, but Coach
We got
Northern,
to charge a little more.
we got you a plate. We'll make sure and get you. I saw your comment. I'll vouch for you.
Appreciate it. Hey, one thing, you know, my wife is an engineer, I should say, but I noticed at one time it looked like all the kids, a lot of people from that, I say the Scotlandville, Baker, Zachary area tended to come to Prairie View if they didn't go to Southern. Was there something behind the scenes that were you guys getting maybe scholarships, out of state fee waivers that led a lot of people to come to Prairie View?
I don't know, because I have seen a lot of folks come from Baton Rouge, Scotlandville, Zachary area to Prairie View. I think if you're not going to if you're from Baton Rouge and you're not going to go to Southern, I would think probably the best HBCU to go to outside of your hometown would be Prairie View. You think about it, we got a great engineering school, we got a great nursing school, our biology department is great, education is great. You can do all TC. And then, athletics, all the facilities we have. So I really think it's that most students nowadays, they don't want to go to school 5 miles from their house. They want to at least have a couple hours drive because they feel like they need their own independence. So I think that's probably the reason. And when you compare us to some of the other HBCUs, there's no comparison.
Yes.
Right. So it's Prairie View or bust for most folks.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I know Roosevelt saw it. Shout out to Lionel for finding that picture of our old friend. One of the biggest Prairie View fans you can find is our friend in that picture with us, Herman Smith, up there next to Roosevelt there. He passed away a few years back, but just want to say that was a real good picture of him that you found. I got to see him a few days before we lost him. And Roosevelt really hung tight with Herman and learned a lot of stuff from him too. When we were in Kansas City. I can't remember if this picture is from Kansas City or when we went to
that's the championship game.
That was at the championship. Yeah, so he did get to at least see the 2009 before we lost him, but big PV fan.
And then the one on the left is from the Jackson State championship game that we lost. That was right before the game, before we went in. And then the other one there is that's us back in the day at the old stadium. I think we watching Coach Northern win a game.
He was. That's exactly what
it might have been that all-core state game where we pulled out in the last second with three straight throws to go like 80 yards.
Yeah.
Get the win. That was a classic memory.
No, that was a classic there. I wish I had a tape of that because my son was filming it, but he missed part of it. But we were on our own 22-yard line or something like that with 24 seconds left. And Alcorn was up by 4. We ended up scoring 2 touchdowns in those 24 seconds.
Yes.
I know we pulled it out. We had some whole cooking, boy. But
we had KJ Black. That's what we had.
Yeah, that's what we had. Yeah.
Hey, he made us all good coaches at different times.
Yeah. But Blackshear, I wish we got to get the spirit of Blackshear back, right? It was even though it was a rinky-dink stadium, it had spirit, it had soul. If we can get that soul back in current Blackshear Stadium or Panther Stadium, man, I think we'll give the home field advantage that Tremaine Jackson wants.
What do you think? Yeah. What do you think? I mean, and speaking to that, right? Because obviously, when we talk, and we've talked about it on the channel many times, right? About kind of getting the program and getting the support to where it needs to be. And Coach Northern, even last week on Northern Lights, obviously shared, put his AD golf cowboy hat on, right? I talked about some ideas. But we always talk about it from a threefold perspective, right? You have the student base, you got your alumni base, and then you got the community, right? For you, what do you see as the missing link of what's keeping us from having that spirit of old Blackshear, you call it, right? I would even say the spirit of old Baby Dome. Because listen, I remember rocking some of them basketball games out too, right? So, what is it that you see from your perspective that's missing? And then also, I guess, how do you see as a National Alumni Association of how as a organization, you guys are going to be able to help to spearhead and help the athletic department move us in that direction?
Well, that's a really complicated question because I think if I could solve it, I'll probably be the AD or something. But I think we got to build a tradition of, like, there's just so many years of losing, and so you have a lot. Even I graduated in '92, and I was the editor of the Panther.
Hey,
I was the sports editor, just like you, Lionel.
Okay, tell him something, bro.
But just imagine writing every week a good story about a team losing by 85 points. Like, just think about how you have to do that. And then let me add on to this. At the time, Coach Jacket was the AD, right?
Uh-huh.
I have a class from Coach Jacket. So I have to write some good stuff, or she gonna say, "Hey, what you writing about the team?" And I have her in the class. So, I think we gotta create more winning ways. Winning will solve it, right?
Yeah.
We gotta help Coach Jackson with all the programs win with our money, our participation. I think we have to win. We have to have, I know Coach Northern, you were very, very close. I mean, so close. And I think if we would have won, those years when the championship was in Houston, and we had got a couple of those, like a championship while they were in Houston, where just the casual fans could have saw it, that would have paid dividends. Now we need to really, win, host a game. We gotta make memories in Panther Stadium, and when you start making memories, then people go back and say, I got to go back because I had this memory here. Our memories right now all around homecoming. I think we thought Labor Day Classic, we'll have a couple memories, but it seemed like each one, there's either a rainstorm or a hurricane. There's something like, especially when we've had it at home. And so I just think we got to make some memories that will help. As far as the Alumni Association, I think we got to find a way to partner with athletics. I think we will do that and help them support whatever initiative they're doing, because they're the key, and we need to follow them.
Yeah. I'd like to see us have some reclamation initiatives with the alumni, and then maybe as part of that also make them aware of where athletics is right now, because we have a lot of alumni who are still in their mind. To be honest, until Lionel came along, you had to really be like me or Herman and really scrape the internet to find anything on Prairie View, because
you're right.
Just like, proof of this weekend, the Jackson State game is millions of YouTube channels saying how that's a classic, but the Labor Day Classic was a classic. I mean, we won the game with literally seconds left,
on the clock.
And it was a walk-off touchdown, and nobody talked about our game. So if we could get, start getting more alums aware of where we're at in athletics, then they would pay attention to that too as you do your reclamation.
I think that's a part of it. I mean, I think what Rose is sharing and what you say, I mean, that's really the reason I started the channel, is because I found myself looking at other places. Really, I'm there looking for the 5 seconds of what are they going to say about Prairie View, right? To know.
5 seconds, right?
I listen to other stuff too, right? Because I'm a SWAC guy, right, in general. But I'm really, really wanting to know, like, hey, what's up with PV, right? You know what I mean? And so it's like you say, right? The more, we have places where we can congregate among each other and know that, there's other people that actually are following the team. There's other people that love the team as much as I love to follow the program. I think it's big. One thing this year that really made me realize, like, man, we really have an opportunity to kind of go to a different level is I have one of my good friends who from UC, University College. I know I'm talking foreign to all y'all right now when I talk. Y'all don't know nothing about the UC University College. That was, that's what I mean. That's post 2000s, right? You know what I'm saying? But all my younger alums in the chat, right? UC, right? Trey 6 is where I was at. But I had my guy, right? We came up during the same time. We got connected, right? He's an engineering student. Obviously, I was ag, but he's a guy who, man, we've been connected. It's like you and Kerry, right? We've been connected since then, right? You know what I'm saying? Our little group that's built. And this year he called me and told me, like, hey, man, I've been getting out to as many Prairie View games as possible, right? He went to the Rice game. He went to, the Labor Day Classic. He went to the first two home games, right? He didn't get a chance to go to State Fair, but he wanted to go to that. So he's like, hey, I'm basically I'm trying to get out to as many games as possible, right? Support the team, watch the team. And I'm like, this is a guy who loves sports, right? He goes to Texas games, he goes to Rockets games, right? And now he's made Prairie View a priority, right? And saying, hey, I want to support Prairie View too, right? You know what I mean? And so that to me just shows, like, man, the opportunity that's here in front of us is that we just have to put it out there, right? And show, like, hey, one, like, it's a good time, right? Hey, man, you just don't understand. We have a good time. Like, hey, the same way you got your groups that talk about the Rockets or talk about the Texans, hey, man, we got our group that talk about Prairie View, right? You know what I'm saying? You got, the good, bad, and ugly, like I call it, right? Because, of course, me and Bill always talk because he's always in football mode. It's like, hey, listen, next play. And I'm like, hey, I'm always in fan mode. I'm like, hey, man, you got to let them talk and say what they say. That's what fans do. I mean, they talk crazy, okay? They love you and hate you at the same time, right? But together, we're great, right? So, but I just think we just got to put it out there and show people that we're here, that we're available, right? And I think there's a lot more people that I think will show that, hey, man, there's a lot of people that's following the team that don't even know there's watch parties, right? Mm-hmm. In Atlanta or in Dallas or even here in Houston, right? There's a lot of people out there that actually like, man, actually, I've been following the program for a minute. I didn't even know this was available. I didn't even know this was here. So that's why we got to keep putting it out. That's why what we're doing, what NAA, right, what the Football Alumni Association, right, 1876 Foundation doing for Southern game is huge, right? And I think earlier they said, 45 signees already?
So we're probably over 50 now. But
you know what I'm saying? That's huge. And that's we're only talking about who's paying to be at the tailgate, right? We're not talking about all of the who's in Louisiana who's going to come to the game. We're not talking about what SGA is already doing and saying, hey, we're going to pay for students for $65 for you got a bus, for you got hotel and breakfast for students to come to the game that they're doing. And so if we collectively do these things, man, and show up, and of course, BTA Classic, of course, Coach Northern, I'm sorry, close your ears right now. Of course,
Coach Northern can't be part of this.
And on the field, we do our job too. All right, you know what I mean? And then they look up and say, dang, it's like 1,000 Prairie View people here. That stuff is what changed the narrative, right? You know what I'm saying? And what continues to build. But I'm out my soapbox now, so you know what I mean?
I think, Lionel, I think also some of our fans they're waiting to see, right?
For sure.
They don't want to be invest and then get let down. And I think that's kind of where our alumni, our fan base is fragile like that right now. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, as soon as we win a championship or we're going to Atlanta, I'm telling you, you're going to see Prairie Viewites you never thought was from Prairie View. You went to Prairie View? Oh, yeah. They're coming out. So that's how it was in 2009.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of folks that just came out for that game and supported Alabama. It was a fun time.
That's what people say. Yeah, UC faux Trey. Okay, you know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, man, I think that's big. And Isaiah says, are there any plans to establish NAA Chapter 2 in Louisiana?
Is there any plans to start a National Alumni Association chapter in Louisiana? Is that what he said?
I guess that's what the question is. Yeah.
I think we're definitely open to expansion of adding more chapters. I do know a few alums in Baton Rouge. It'll probably be more of a regional type chapter, but some of them are coming to the tailgate on Saturday. So I'm hoping that will be a catalyst to kind of foster that conversation.
And then do y'all know of any charter buses? I'm not sure of any. But only bus I know is the student bus. It's a student specific bus that's going. But I'm not sure if any organizations has any charter buses.
I'm not aware of any, but I think one of the things we're going to look at next year is before the season starts, see if there wants to be like a traveling Panther group. And if there is, then we have the ways to get a bus going. What's happening is that someone has to put out the money for the bus. If it doesn't fill up, you basically take a loss. So that's the big issue. But we could get a traveling Panther group. I know. Shout out to Donna G. I think she had tried to start one a long time ago. So maybe that's someone we need to talk back with again and say, hey, is there a way to start that up again and see if we could do it? Because I think, I don't know, next year, where will we go? Probably to Alabama State, or maybe FAMU comes back on the list. I'm not sure who our away games will be far away.
It'll be flipped to this year's schedule. Basically, this year was the first year for this specific schedule. But yeah, I mean, I think that's, I just love the initiatives right now, what's going on. And again, right, I think the grassroots movement, is what really is going, it's going to really make things stick, because that's what we want at the end of the day, is for it to stick. We got people that travel to basically every game, right? But I think we just got to build on that momentum, right? And even choosing, like we're doing now, right? Choosing to say, hey, this specific game at Southern, we're going to make this the game this year that we all going to pop out for. And we just build on that. Next year, hey, like, okay, we got Baylor, like Isaiah said, right? Next year, we're going to all pop out at Waco, right? And we're going to go to that, we just keep building on that momentum. The next thing you know, right? Because we got the alum. It's just creating the environment. It's creating the atmosphere that people say, man, I don't want to miss that next time. But you got to start it, right? That's the only thing. The thing about any movement is it got to start, right? And it starts. And we really can't look at the numbers. I mean, listen, the Bible talks about it, man. Hey, listen, if you don't know, it is what it is, right? The word says, do not despise small beginnings for a reason, right? That's what the word say. So small beginnings, if it's just 5 in that group, if it's 15, or we talk about 50 now. My thing that I always hate is there's literally somebody who can come on right now and say, oh, y'all only got 50 at y'all tailgate. Our tailgate at this school or such and such school got this. First of all, we don't care. You know what I'm saying? We don't care, right? But we can't let that be the deterioration, right? Of saying as if 50 is a small thing, right? Nah, that's 50 people, black people that pay. Because listen, black people tell you they come
paid ahead of time.
Don't pay for nothing. Okay, all right. So that's how, right? And we just got to keep building on it, right? You know what I mean? So
can I mention 2 more initiatives?
Yeah, go ahead, Rose.
So one more, the Atlanta chapter. Or the Southeast region under the direction of Dwayne Martin. I don't know if he's on, but they're hosting a tailgate at the Alabama A&M game. So look out for some flyers on that. And then the one thing that I'm really excited about, this is non-athletics, but I guess you can ask athletic questions at the event. We're having a University State of the Union on Friday of homecoming week, 11 o'clock.
I like that.
At the Beckton University Hall, which is in the administration building. There'll be information coming out this week. It's definitely on the homecoming calendar if you look at that on the pvamu.edu website. But the key thing is we'll have 3 people speaking. Myself, Dr. Danetta Goodall of the PV Foundation, and then the president herself, President Dr. Tamikia LeGrand will be speaking. And we're going to be talking about all things Prairie View. And we want all the leaders of the alumni. We want all the rabid participants of the alumni to be there and just to hear what is going on. And you're going to have a chance. We're going to have a panel discussion at the end where you could ask questions about some things that are on your mind or that you heard, or you just want to kind of dialogue with the president and the 2 other leaders of the 2 largest alumni organizations associated with university or affiliated with university. So that's Friday of homecoming week, 11 o'clock at the Beckton Auditorium Hall. And you'll start seeing a lot of programming on that starting this week as we ramp up towards homecoming. So love to see you there. Lionel and Kerry, if y'all in town, Coach,
sure.
Come on by.
Sure, man. Hey, Mr. Rose, man, we appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
True Prairie View fan through and through. You know what I mean? So anything I'm ever at, he already there.
I gotta get my little beads on.
Hey, listen.
Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Hold on. Let me Hold on now.
I'm telling you.
Hold on now. Now, coach.
Close your eyes.
Coach, you out the loop right now. I need you to get some purple. We know what week it is too, so we need to know where you stand. All right, it's a little bit sticky right now for it.
Yeah, don't let them get you down there and influence you, Roosevelt.
No, I got 3 chains, so if they yank this one, I got backup. I'm good to go. I got backup, but it's
look, I'm gonna be a little messy.
Coach Northern to change.
What you gonna say, Coach?
I'm gonna be a little messy. Y'all better hope Debo don't come and take them chains now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, the only thing, look, I'm looking forward to a good time, but I'm calling the game for Mike Prince, but that's gonna change the way my homecoming go, because usually when I go back home, Adam and about 4 or 5 of his partners coming, so I usually can act a little bit different at home. So I'm gonna have to leave the big boy beverages alone until after the game. But I'm looking forward to it though.
That's gonna be. Oh, Tony's asking Rose, is that State of the Union gonna be streamed for those who haven't arrived yet?
To be honest, I'm not sure yet. We wanted more of an in-person event because it allows some more candid conversations, to be honest, Tony. So that's something I need to talk about. But at this point, it wasn't planned to be streamed. It was not.
Gotcha. The only question I got left, Rose, is is there any more room on the bandwagon? Because I know Mr. Campbell is looking for a space to go right now. Because after what happened to FAMU yesterday, he needs a seat somewhere, and I know we like to take care of Black people no matter where they come from. So is there any more room on the Prairie View bandwagon for a Rattler? I'm just asking,
We got a couple application spots, we'll let them in. We'll let them in. We take care of Rattlers. They good people.
Hey, you gotta make sure that donation, make sure that check clear.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Now, Mr. Campbell know how to raise some money now, so he might be a good person to have a anyway.
I'm not ready.
That's a real shame when you say that, the check clearing. That's a real shame.
Yeah, that's a check clearing from FAMU, boy. Yeah, you gotta watch this.
Oh man, y'all hilarious. But that said, man, Rose, man, we appreciate you for jumping on, coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Again, the platform, it obviously, like I told Marquise, like I told Coach Pat, is yours, right? You know what I'm saying? NAA need to talk about something, it don't matter. Just let me know. Obviously, you got the floor. So,
yes, sir. All right, thank you.
Thank you again.
So yeah, man, got some guys doing some great work all throughout. Like I said earlier, man, it's good to know somebody in high places that know somebody in high places that know somebody in low places. Okay, it's good to know. Okay, so if you ever need to call, you know who to call because of that. But man, obviously, Prairie View had the bye week on last week, man. But has the huge game with Southern coming up on this week. Obviously, the huge one with Jackson State. We'll just briefly, talk about this before we close out. And Coach, I know you got just something to brief from Northern Lights you were going to do, or are you going to just wait till next week?
We can wait until next week. Got a few games, and I don't know if I'm going to show up next Sunday, depending on how this thing look. But
I know.
Man, it's really rough right now, right? You know what I'm saying? You knew Bethune-Cookman can score. You knew they could strike. And actually, it was Southern that came out and struck first and took that lead, but really nothing could get going. And I was actually kind of shocked because Bethune has not played great on the defensive side of things. Yeah. For you, when you watched that game, what was it that kind of maybe stood out to you to show why was Bethune able to have success kind of keeping Southern at bay? Because I really thought it was going to be more of a high-scoring game.
Shootout, yeah.
Yeah, I really thought it was going to be more of a shootout than what it ended up being.
Look, so I watched the game today because I went to watch a HBU, ACU, whatever yesterday. Look, when Southern scored on the very first play of the game, I said, man, that's not good. And I used to always, I remember we played Alabama A&M one year, and we were on defense, and they scored on the very first play of the game, run the play we knew exactly what they were going to run, scored a touchdown. And Coach Frazier's looking at me like, all right, Northern. I say, Coach, we got them right where we want them. They didn't score again. So to me, if you run a kickoff back, that's different than scoring on your first, because just the mindset changed. And Southern couldn't get back. They had a lot of pre-snap, not a lot, but a few pre-snap penalties that kept them in the first quarter in 1st and 15 instead of 1st and 10. And then you end up a couple yards short. And then you look at 2 or 13 on 3rd and 4th down. That didn't bode well for the Jaguars. So we'll have to check and see if, like you say, if they can rebound. But that was the story. And then Bethune had about 500 yards of offense, and I think they were close to maybe 9 of 15 or 9 of 16 on 3rd and 4th down. So when you can be above 50%, and I think they had maybe 40 minutes in time of possession.
Yes.
Man, it's hard to win a game when you don't have the ball. And then I really like but that was my first time seeing Bethune's offense. I really like the way they put 2 people in the zone or run a guy through a zone and then follow him up with something. Their spacing concepts were pretty good. I just like what they did on offense. So it was just tough for the Jaguars all the way around.
Yeah. And giving up the 271 yards rushing. That just wears your defense down. And I was surprised to see Southern only have 65 because, like Lionel said, I expected Trey Holly to go off because they haven't been, Bethune hadn't been playing the best defense. So I was just shocked that it was lopsided like that.
I think another thing, too, once Bethune, they made a good run in the second quarter. So now Southern has to get away from the running game and try to throw the ball more than what they really want to.
Yeah.
And they just, it just didn't happen for them.
Yeah, I mean, it was just from what I remember, Bethune-Cookman, look at this, 32 first downs.
Yeah.
Wow.
8 of 13 on 3rd down, 1 of 3 on 4th. Southern, 1 of 9 on 3rd down, 1 of 4 on 4th down. They had a lot of 3 and outs. And also, Bethune-Cookman did not punt the ball this game. So that kind of lets you know how bad it was on defense for Southern this game, which, again, it's kind of shocking, to really think about because you didn't expect. But listen, you leave your defense on the field so long. I mean, 41 minutes. Listen, they had the ball 42 minutes to 18. I mean, that's literally like you had the ball for 3 full quarters, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough for any team to win like that. But when you look at Bethune, Coach, I think you got to feel really good if you're Raymond Woody Jr. right now. Coming into your 3rd year, a lot of people at the beginning of the year talking like, hey, don't need to extend him, etc. And now you're able to start out SWAC play 2-1, and actually you're able to put up a lot of points against Alabama State. Feeling like, man, if you could have figured it out on defense here or there, you had a chance to possibly win that game. And when you look at their schedule, Coach, I just want to show you the schedule because there is a possibility that Bethune-Cookman could play Jackson State with a chance to win the SWAC East. Okay, I know that sounds kind of crazy right now, but they have Arkansas Pine Bluff, who I think you would say is a winnable game. They have Valley, which I think, even though they've been playing a lot better, second half got away from them right against Alabama A&M, but that's a winnable game for Bethune. They got Grambling, which, again, I think you would say is a winnable game right now when you look at those teams. And then you got Jackson State, right, in Mississippi, right? It is a possibility that Bethune could possibly, right? There is a possibility Bethune could be 5-1 in the SWAC going into that Jackson State game.
I think that's a perfect example of sometimes being patient paying off. And I was talking to one of our former players the other day. Coach Henry Frazier don't happen at Prairie View anytime past 2015 if you go back to the first 2 years.
Right.
Go look back at the first 4 years. and then what happened from years 4 until he left. Sometimes patience can pay off, but like I say, this microwave society, we're not trying to hear that. But I'm glad for Coach, and I really do hope that they can make a run and put some pressure on Jackson, and then end up with a fam and almost end up with a 3-way tie. Depends on how everything goes with Alabama State. So that's one of the things I just like the end of the season meaning something, or a game that say a 2-win team playing against somebody else and you put the pressure on them when it's all said and done. I like that kind of stuff.
I like it too. Listen, it's gonna be interesting, Mr. Carey. What were your thoughts just from this past weekend in general, Southern game with Bethune, but also just the other games, obviously the big one, Alabama State and Jackson as well?
Well, for me, I called it the ooh-wee weekend because I looked at some of those games and I was like, woo, ooh-wee, I didn't expect that. So it was really interesting weekend. I didn't expect FAMU to get beat so bad. It wasn't like I predicted them to win, but I didn't expect them to go down that bad. And the only reason I say that because regardless of how they've been playing, they're from the MEAC, so they're used to playing against North Carolina Central and UT and all those schools that from over there. So I was just surprised, and it was at Bragg, right? Yeah, at Bragg. So
that's tough right there.
Think they are bragging a little different now. So it's tough. Sorry about that, Mr. Campbell. I forgot we had mixed company. But I was surprised at that one. And I was surprised to see I wasn't shocked, but surprised to see Texas Southern escape and ruin Grambling.
Grambling, Texas Southern gave them all the chances to take that game. But when I looked at the stats, right, 11 of 20, only 89 yards passing for KJ Cooper. I mean, can we at this point say that KJ Cooper may not be a great quarterback, right? Because at the beginning of the year, that's really what the narrative was. And I'm saying he really has only played 3 quarters, right? You know what I mean? We really don't know what he is yet. You know what I mean? And maybe some of it is he's been held back, right? Because again, Texas Southern does want to establish the run.
Yes, they do.
But I don't know if he's cracked 200 yards passing in any game at this point. I don't know what the issue is there from that side. Mature Mickens is saying it's the offensive coordinator. I don't know what's up with Texas Southern through the air, right? You look at even the receivers. I've lost train of thought on receiver, right? You know what I'm saying? Number one, Leary, right? He's been completely, vacant this year. I mean, you haven't really seen him do any damage, right? In the air at all. It's like, man, where has he been? You know what I mean? I know they have the other kid that has been doing well for him, not Charlo, but the other kid that came back off of injury. But, somebody with that speed, right, and that talent, you expected him to have a huge year. You just haven't been able to see it, Now they're able to pick up 238 in the run game. Obviously, that was huge for him. 18 for 152 for a touchdown for Renfro, 11 for 69 for Jacob Washington. But again, man, I think some of these games that Texas Southern is going to face moving forward, I think they're going to have to see a little bit more production in the air. Because I think this game, I want to say Grambling had 4 turnovers.
Yeah, four turnovers is not a great formula or mixture for winning football. I don't care how you cut it up. The rushing yards. I think that's when you give up that many. The turnovers take away time of possession. Time of possession can be a misleading stat, but it takes away the time that you have to score. And I don't know where the turnovers happen, but if you moving the ball to the red zone, or that can hurt you, as well as if just say you backed up coming out and you turn the ball over. Now Texas Southern yards may not be that high, but they didn't have to go far to score the football. So the turnovers and where they happen, and then do you get points off of turnovers? That's the other thing.
They're saying that it was in the red zone. Turnovers were in the red zone. So.
And just think, even if you have a mediocre field goal kicker and he makes 50% of his field goals, if you're in the red zone 2 times, that's 3 points. And if you're in there 4 times, that's 6 points, and you win the ball game.
Wow. Yeah, man. I expected that. Grambling. I mean, honestly, kind of reminiscent of the game with Jackson last year, right?
Yes,
where Jackson moved the ball very well, but they just really turned the ball over in bad spots.
Mm-hmm.
With Grambling in this game, and I think Grambling, lost the first 2 quarterbacks. T-Set booted up, had to essentially put on a uniform. My dad was at this game, right? Like I said, he's a Graham season ticket holder. It's just like, man, they had to call him off the bench. I mean, he wasn't even supposed to play, but got two quarterbacks hurt. He had to come in late in that game. But, Texas Southern still in position, right, in the West to still have an opportunity in an outside shot. Obviously, there's some big games. The thing with us in Texas Southern, we have the same schedule, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing, right? Our schedules are literally identical in the SWAC. So every team we face, they face, and vice versa. And so they're still in position to have a chance. Getting over Valley by 3, getting over Grambling by 1, right? They still have that outside potential. But I'm really honestly on the offensive side of things, kind of a little bit underwhelmed by what I've seen from them. I definitely expected that they would be a little bit more well-oiled this year than what I saw, than what we saw last year. But yeah, man, they still got a chance to get some things together. I know they got their homecoming coming up next week, and so that's a chance, all right, to offensively get things going, and maybe like Bethune-Cookman did in that South Carolina State game, right? Maybe they see it get rolling, and it gets rolling from there. But at the end of the day, it's going to really be interesting to see what that looks like moving forward for Grambling. I mean, I think Mickey Joseph had in his contract that he got to win 8 games in order to get the extension, which I feel like that is a bad relationship that's ready to break up anyway, because you can kind of just tell Mickey Joseph, some of the interviews, some of the things he said, is almost like, man, something is not going good with the administration in him, with some of the statements he's made, right? I mean, or even early in the year, just like, hey, I got my home over here.
That's
and
right.
all this stuff. I'm like, man, it sounds real rough, you know what I mean? Like, that don't sound like y'all having no good marriage right now, you know what I mean? And so it's not looking good right now for Coach Joseph and the G-Men. But Coach, from your perspective, and this for Grambling and Southern, because obviously Southern right now, their fans going crazy about Graves. I mean, it is what it is, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. I just don't think it's a good form. Now, I'm asking this question, but this is Prairie versus everybody. I don't care. I hope they continue to burn like fire, because I already told you I think they crumbling dynasties anyway. But how do you expect to build a program? One, even giving coaches 2-year contract. Let's just start there.
That's outrageous.
Get rid of them after 2 years, because they can have a 3-4 year contract. You get rid of them after 2 years. I think that's an issue anyway, right? Because I'm still on this island by myself a lot and saying, I don't know why y'all got rid of Hugh Jackson. I thought Hugh Jackson was building momentum. Like, he was the recruits he was bringing in and what he was. He needed to take care of this thing and this here. But man, I felt like the progression was looking good in my mind. I think they got rid of him too quick. But how can you really build a program giving coaches 2-year contracts? Like, is that even logical?
Man, that's a tough one, because coaches bet on themselves sometimes and it don't work out. But I think the big thing is making sure, and take it for what it's worth, I tell the truth too much. I think Grambling and Southern are perfect examples of what happened when you don't have great vertical alignment. I'm gonna throw out these programs. Prairie View, great vertical alignment. The president, the AD, and the head coach all have the same mission, and the head coach has a lot of say in what goes on with the football program. Jackson State University, president, AD, head coach, all on the same page, all on the same line, all on the same word on the page, not just the same page. And then Alabama State University, I got to throw them in the mix. All of them want to see Coach Rob be successful. Coach Rob is a credible coach, even though he hadn't been a head coach before. And the president all want to see him be successful. So, and I said it before, I don't think Grambling and Southern has great vertical alignment. And I'm sticking to it no matter how controversial it is. And I love both of those schools, but I just don't think it's hard to be successful as a head football coach when you have people that's supposed to be on your team that's not running the same plays that you're running trying to advance the program. I done seen it before. I've been at 3 schools where I've seen it not work, and it's hard for it to work no matter how good the head coach is as an X and O guy, a recruiter. When you got people that's demeaning you or taking away your authority, it's hard to ask a joker to run down the field on kickoff and stay in his lane when he can't get in his dorm room at night. Or he showed up the pregame meal and there's absolutely no food ready for him to eat. You tell him to be at the bus for 6:30 in the morning and the bus don't show up for 7:30. All of that stuff like that undercuts the head coach's authority. So those schools, and they may not be dealing with exactly that, but I'm telling you how hard it is to win when everybody ain't on the same word, on the same line, on the same page.
That's good. Coach Jackson also actually spoke about that in this past his coach's call on Thursday, about how he's really a stickler. And in the day, he's like, hey, if things off, like the bus is not on time, right? That throws things off to where, hey, that can deter how guys are going to play the next day at the game because they're thrown off, right? And so he was talking about how he's a big stickler for that and having things like in order and in line. And so, when you talk about these things, we don't understand. Those are the things behind the veil of the program that we don't see on the field, but that affect what happens on the field. And Mr. Mickens, before I get you in here, I do want to say that the opinions of Coach Northern do not align with Prairie View versus everybody. Ain't no love of Grambling and Southern over here, okay? Listen, ain't no love, okay?
I didn't love it. I didn't even love this.
That is going. Listen,
you live by Grambling. You was over by
Grambling. We got to stick together as a people.
If we talk about academics, if we talking about what these institutions do for
research
communities, right? You know what I'm saying? If we talk about the money that we need to be getting from the state governments, right? We ought to get, but when it comes to sports and when it comes to that vertical alignment, it ain't there for your football pro. Listen, let that alignment be misaligned, okay? Let it stay like. Listen, them people can still graduate from your college and your football team be trash, okay? So listen, let the alignment be for your science program and for them nurses over there, all right? Let the alignment be for your engineering program, all right, and a communication department.
There you go.
I don't care if the alignment never come back.
Hey,
sorry, football, bro. I hope it stay like that. Okay, I hope it stay that way. But now,
let me mess with you guys a little bit. So look,
that's a good one.
They had my sister. My sister went to her daughter's school, and man, the Prairie View people was getting. I'm assuming she had a Grambling shirt on, but the Prairie View people were giving her the blues at an elementary school fundraiser. So I'm like, man, we got to do better as a people.
What are they giving her blues for?
Just the fact that she went to Grambling and showed up to a school close to Prairie View with a Grambling shirt on. So it was one of them type of wasn't no swag love then.
Hey, ain't no swag love at that point.
Know what territory. When in Rome, do as the Romans. All right, you know what I'm saying? No, listen, you don't show up to a blood neighborhood with blue on, do you?
Yeah, put on a gold Grambling shirt.
Y'all know what color to wear when y'all go there, don't you? I don't see y'all in Los Angeles wearing the wrong colors. So don't be in Houston wearing the wrong colors then. Okay, you know what I mean? So. Oh man, that's so funny. But Mr. Mickens, man, in all seriousness, right? Man, what's your thoughts on this? Because I do think, as Coach Northern rightly put it, that alignment when it's off. And I would mention Alabama A&M as another school I think that has good alignment as well.
I think they do too.
So even though this is just the first year for Coach Shade, obviously, but I think that alignment obviously is great between their president, their AD, their head coach too as well, and head coaches with their programs. But Mr. Mickens, what's your thoughts on this as well?
I think Coach Northern summed it up. And the one part he left off, though, is after all that misalignment, the only face the public knows is the coach.
Yeah.
So they're like, man, that's sorry, coach. He ain't good for nothing. But like he said, they don't know that the buses showed up late or the players didn't get to eat. You know, they don't even know that part, that they don't give them a chance to practice at all in the summer. You know, and other schools get to practice in the summer. So, you could put your coaches at a disadvantage really bad behind the scenes, and nobody sees your face. So, and it could not even be the AD. Sometimes it's the people in between those layers of alignment that cannot get things done. So when the AD trots his face out there, everybody's saying the AD is sorry. So it's tough when you have the faceless people kind of pull you backwards. So
that's a good point.
Really, that's the important part is accountability for them as well.
Mm-hmm. It makes a lot of sense. And before we head and just talk a little bit about this upcoming week games, get up out of here. Mr. Malone, mentions this, and I definitely wanted to make mention of it. Right. Listen, the Lady Panthers volleyball team 6-0 right now in SWAC play. Coach Dottie has the girls playing very well, man, and they continue to blaze through the SWAC right now. So it's going to be interesting to see as they continue the rest of the season, kind of get themselves ready for a SWAC tournament play. Right. You got a couple great teams there at the top, man, that I think has really got a chance to win it this year. We got a lot of girls back from last year's team as well, even though Coach Lindsay left, I think only one transfer out. And so a lot of those girls that was on the team last year that had a great run throughout the regular season, I think finished second in regular season standings, they're back, right? And they're hungry to kind of get the job done and finish what they started over the last 2 years. So shouts out to the Lady Panthers. Shouts out to Coach Andati and what she's got going over there as well. But with that said, man, just looking at what's coming up this week, we got Grambling going to Arkansas Pine Bluff. We got Lincoln going to Valley. And I heard that Lincoln only had 34 players, Coach. They said at Alcorn on yesterday. That's how many they brought. 34 players, which is just, that's mind-boggling.
Yeah, I text my man G over there, the Alcorn #1 guy, to see what the numbers looking like, and he hadn't hit me back yet. But I know the numbers are getting low, so I don't know how in the world they doing it because they just went to Alcorn. Now they going to Valley, and then 2 weeks they'll be on the hill. So I don't know. You just gotta tip your cap to those guys and hope they make it through.
Yeah. Listen, I just hope they make it in 2 weeks. After that, they can shut their season down. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. Okay, listen. They don't gotta play no more after 2 weeks from now. That they ain't got nothing to do with me, right? You know what I mean? Just make sure you show up for homecoming. That's all I'm saying. Show up for PVAC. You know what I mean? Obviously, got the big one, Prairie View versus Southern next week. Virginia Lynchburg going to Texas Southern. And then we got Alcorn State going to FAMU for their homecoming too, by the way. And I think that one's going to be big because both of these teams, right, have not yet won a SWAC conference game. And so this is a chance for both of these teams to actually get out the SWAC snide. Both two teams that actually are struggling on offense, Coach. And so I think this is actually going to be a really, really good game, a really good defensive battle. It's really going to, see who has a chance, right, to make a play here or there to get them over the hump. But when you look at kind of this next week's slate, what stands out for you and kind of what game are you looking forward to?
I just think the Alcorn fam game is going to sort of show sort of who cares. And I would tell guys who cares about their coach and who cares about what product they putting on the field. The other one obviously is Southern's homecoming. Like I say, I would be going even if it wasn't Prairie View. But I'm looking forward to that one. Like I say, just seeing people I hadn't seen in a while, as well as, seeing what the guys in blue and gold going to do. Are they going to tuck tail or are they going to be dog day? That's, on the front of my shirt don't say Southern. Some of them that I have, it says Dog Day, and it's about a mentality. But if Prairie View come through there with that running game, they got the doggone Dog Day might turn into some mutts if them jokers ain't ready to come up there and make some tackles. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a very early start, so it'll be I think it's gonna be good. Right? I thought it was 2 or 4.
2 o'clock.
Okay, so it says 2. So like I say, I'll be looking forward to that one and sort of seeing how everything goes. Like I say, I pull for both schools, but I really want to see Southern, and particularly Southern's defense.
4. Okay.
Play better than they have been playing.
Yeah, and this one's gonna be on HBCU Go, so you'll be able to check it out on HBCU Go. And yeah, like I said, I was kind of shocked that the Bethune-Cookman game got out of hand as much as it did. So I thought Southern defense would be able to keep them a little bit more at bay than what we've seen. But again, maybe Bethune just isn't that explosive, right? You know what I'm saying? It's 3-4 games in now at this point, right? That we've seen that. So at some point you got to say, hey, this is what this team is. And so maybe they're just that explosive. It's definitely going to be interesting. I think, that first quarter is going to really kind of be very important in that game. We've had a couple slow starts where we've not got up on teams or finished plays that would have kind of put teams away. And so I think that's going to be really important because at the end of the day, I know Southern is just really looking for, you want to look for life, right? And I think that's what we allow Alcorn to have the game before.
That's it right there.
Yeah,
we also had chances to kind of create some separation in that game. But again, you give a team life, you give them a chance to kind of get their footing. And the next thing you know, you only need, it's like a boxer letting the guy stay around. They only need one punch now.
Yes.
And so, I'm really interested to see how Prairie View comes out in this game after a bye week. I really want to see what the offense looks like after a bye week. Defense obviously being rested up, right? See how they're able to fly around as well. But really, I want to see how the offense, if they've been able to turn a corner, right? Because I think these next few games coming up are really going to be important, not just in kind of the SWAC schedule and slate in general, right? But in the team knowing that this is what we can be, right? You know what I mean? Because even if you get to the SWAC championship game, but you're limping there, you don't want to limp in there, right? Because you want your team to have a mentality and feeling that, hey, we can win this game. And I think them proving it to themselves is going to be a part of what we're going to need to see from them on the field. But Mr. Carey, what's your thoughts, right, on this slate of games that's coming up this weekend? You get a last word before we close out.
Okay. Yeah, I think one of the interesting games is going to be, like Coach Northern says, the who care about their coach most bowl.
I like
because I think Coach Cozy's seat is hotter than Coach Thomas's seat, but both the seats are warming up. So I think Alcorn's hungry for a SWAC victory, but so is FAM, but they seem like they could be a little deflated. Alcorn had a chance to work on some things playing against Lincoln, and no shade to Lincoln, but they had a chance to work on some things. They played, several places down in the depth chart. So we'll get a chance to see if they worked out some kinks. Because if you remember, Alcorn's been right there. And unfortunately for FAMU, they haven't. So if Alcorn can clean some things up, this could be an interesting game. I really believe if they establish that run game on FAM, it's going to be a problem down there at Bragg. Oh, yeah, you brought that up. Let's see. Woo, they got a tough road the rest of the way, too. Yeah, because if they can't pull this one off, they might have a tough time with Valley, and they definitely might not get past Texas Southern if FAM can't win this game. And then they have Southern and Grambling and Jackson State. So if they don't win that game and kind of right the ship, then they could end up losing all the way out.
They saying who gonna fire Coach Cozy? They ain't got no AD. The assistant AD just
I didn't even think about that part. Yeah, that's right.
A&M. So
Yeah.
So But man,
but the PV game at Southern's homecoming, that's going to be an interesting game because PV's run defense has been pretty good, and they're playing against Holly, who's known to break at least one a game, and he's going to get at least one run over 30 yards. And our thing is to keep our composure because this is going to be this. I think this game's going to be like Texas Southern. We're going to get their best shot. They're going to make catches they haven't made all year. The offensive line is going to buckle up and try to open some holes they haven't opened before for Holly. And they'll probably, I don't know which quarterback, they switch them around a lot, but you know, the quarterback is going to connect on some throws we haven't seen. And you know, and the refs will have on their blue and gold stripes. Because you know how it is in Baton Rouge.
Hilarious.
And we can't forget the 12th man, the almighty Chicken Foot. So the Chicken Foot will be there too. So we just got to establish ourselves early. And once you are able to quiet the crowd and get the Chicken Foot out the game, then we might be. See, I can't look at your sister. She always throw me off.
Don't forget.
She know about
Yeah, man. Listen, it's gonna be interesting. And Coach, I asked this before we close, because you know we talked about at the coaches show with Coach Jackson about the offense kind of struggles. You know, he talked about how he was in the meeting room with them this past week, see kind of why we stalling out, things of that nature. For me, when I look, overall, I like what they've done. I think we moved the ball well. I think we have got stagnant at times, but I feel like plays were there. And for Coach Jackson, I think he felt the same way. Just like, hey, we just got to catch the ball, right? You know what I mean? Like we had some big plays there. We just dropped them. I feel like that the team may not be taking enough shots throughout the game to kind of make teams kind of be weary of them over top, which then kind of allows them to kind of just suppress the field, right? Because if you know that, hey, we're only in the passing game, especially, right, only looking for the intermediate routes, and I don't know if it's because maybe you just don't trust guys to make certain throws or whatever it may be. But I feel like that, to me, is the one thing that, if it was there, could probably make this offense kind of a little bit smoother than what we've seen, because essentially at the end of the day, it's hard to go 75 yards on anybody. 10 plays, 75 yards, 4 or 5 times a game. I mean, you know, nobody really does that consistently, right? It's a big shot here, or a big run here. That's how teams kind of start running out on you. And so if you got a team that's only kind of 5 yards, 6 yards, 3 yards, 7 yards, nobody really is going to be able to do that so consistently. And I think that from a defensive standpoint, that's what we look to do, right? You know what I mean? And why teams have a hard time. But for you, do you feel that, you know, that's a legitimate case that, you know, that they maybe need to look to kind of test guys over top? Because when you look at some of the other games in here, they're testing these teams' DBs and they're winning some of these matchups. And that's how you're seeing the Bethune kind of put up the points against Southern. You've seen RUC, Alabama A&M has a 40-pointer that put up against them, for example, from some of these games. But we just aren't testing guys on the outside as often, and so we don't get that many big plays. I mean, I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think a lot of it goes to situational football. To me, it's easy to get your defense going in the right direction, doing things the way you want them done, than it is the offense. You had a 2-quarterback system. I think it has to be situational shots. We can't just say throw the ball deep. Sometimes the best time to throw the ball deep is 2nd and 1 or 2 or 3rd and 1. But then, and I know I'll say most coaches don't care if it's a certain situation, if it's 3rd and 1 and you throw the ball, oh man, we've been running the ball, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I think it has to be situational, and then I think it has to be some physical mismatches that are involved. And I can say this one game, I think it was the Rice game. It may have been another game where I just so happened to be calling the game in the booth, and I can hear some of the play calls, and I can also hear the offensive coordinator saying where the guys should be looking. And in my opinion, what he was saying was not happening because they may have had trips and the cornerback to the weak side is 8 to 10 yards off, and he might say we should be going to X or whatever they call them, and the ball don't go there. Or they call full verts and the guy running down the seam is wide open, and that's where so sometimes it may be a disconnect that's going on. The other thing is so many things can go wrong on a deep ball. You get sacked, interception, forced fumble. So there's a lot of stuff like that coach may be saying that running game looked pretty good, and it ain't nothing wrong with winning with your running game.
Right.
So you may not want to put the ball in harm's way. But, like I said, sometimes we want to be entertained as fans. And for all those people that say we need to diversify the playbook or we running the same play. If you watch the same team play every week, you should know what your team is doing. So there's nothing wrong with knowing. It goes back to execution. So I get off my coaching high horse and but that's just some of my thoughts.
No, it makes sense. I just wanted to get your perspective there. And I mean, it's the same thing, right? When you think of other sports, right? Obviously, basketball is like my first love, my first sport, right? Really, we run the same plays too, right? But there's just actions off of them same plays, right? Our guys get wise, and when the team finally actually learns the play, then you can actually learn what you can do off the play too, right? But I just need you to learn the first action, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to just first action, right? I'm dealing with these kids right now. Don't ask me about nothing else until you know that after this guy comes here, you're supposed to set a pick the opposite way, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I want you talking to me about, right? I want you talking about nothing else, right? So we're gonna run this play, but now once it's like muscle memory, then now we can kind of do some other things, right? Off of it too. So I get it, right? I understand that. But just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on that. But, man, with that said, we appreciate all y'all for coming on again. This week, obviously, we got the BTA Classic, Prairie View versus Southern Preview. That's going to be coming up. So make sure you check in with us on Tuesday. Obviously, we got the PV Nation podcast on Wednesday as well. So make sure you check out the guys, Kaler, Zay, Janarius, and all of them as well, and lock in with them, as we got another big slate of games coming up. And the week after is even going to be even bigger, man. And so get ready for that. We're in the middle of SWAC play. The MEAC play is about to get started too. So we're going to see a lot of things start to really settle. And if we can get past Southern in this game, we can go to 4-0 in SWAC and really essentially put our foot down. And I don't know when the last time the SWAC West has kind of been settled and decided by the end of October, but we can possibly do that, right? If we can win this one and put ourselves in a position to where down the stretch we kind of have essentially a 2 to 3 game lead over most of the other teams on the side of things. So with that said, man, we appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, Mr. Malone, Tony, Mr. Bennett, Elvin, you know what I'm saying, Miss Northern, etc. Everybody that's on. And until next time, we'll holler at y'all.